All right, welcome back to another edition of the Horseman Pro Football Talk podcast. I'm Brad.
And Hefe.
All right, big emotional game. Colts at the Cowboys. I mean, imagine Jeff Saturday going into Dallas and beating Mike McCarthy on primetime TV. Jerry Jones would have a fucking stroke, man.
Right? Yeah.
Right there on live TV in the booth. He'd start foaming and he'd fall out. And it's not the craziest idea. I mean, the Colts are arguably one of the most talented teams in the league. Saturday has injected a confidence. And as you pointed out in previous videos, and accountability in the locker room that wasn't there. And there is nothing more dangerous than a talented group of underdogs who believe they can win. Dallas better be on alert. With that said, as much as it pains me to say this, I mean, Dallas is good. They're playoff caliber. They're fighting for their division, and it's not, and they don't have their division locked up. I mean, they're still fighting for the division. Every win counts at this point. They're sitting in a good position, but they need every win they can get. If they are what we think they are this year, then it's time for them to show it. My opinion, if they are who we think they are, if they are who Cowboys Nation says they are, there's no excuse for them to lose this game on Monday night. Now, as much as it pains me, and I think the Colts can win this game, and I hope that they do, I logically have to take the Cowboys in this.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. All logic points to taking the Cowboys, and as we're recording this, we haven't watched Monday Night Football yet. For all we know, the Colts could have just gotten smacked by the Steelers, and this Jeff Saturday thing has gone out the window.
That's a good one.
You know what I mean? But, with the win at the Raiders, and the way, they still lost to the Eagles, but the way they played the Eagles, and then, you watch the Eagles go play Green Bay and hang 40 on them. The Colts held that team to 17. So for, Dallas has one of the best defenses in the league. And you have to give credit where credit's due. Dan Quinn has done an amazing job turning that defense around over the last couple of years. But the Colts also have a top 5 defense. You know what I mean? So I think this game could look a lot like the Eagles game, where it's a tough battle. Defenses are making plays, and the offense, everybody says it's a boring game because the offense isn't putting up a bunch of points. But I think there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game, and the Colts definitely have a shot. Again, the accountability, you mentioned it. I've mentioned it over the last couple of weeks. I just feels good as a Colts fan talk about accountability. Frank Reich never mentioned it. The players never mentioned it with Frank Reich in the building. So, I think that goes a long way when these guys are holding each other accountable. So do they have a chance? Absolutely. I don't know what they're going to put the spread at for this game, but I assume it's not going to be very favorable toward the Colts. I see them probably covering the spread, but as much as I'd like to say they can win this game, I just don't know if they can handle Michael Parsons. He could be the MVP if they ever gave it to a defensive player. He's insane. He's going to be, as long as he can stay healthy and wants to play in this league for 10, 12, 14 years, he's going to be one of the best to ever do it, if not the best we've ever seen. Like, he's a monster out there. So I just don't think we'll be able to contain him. And again, that the rest of that defense is good, and you can't trust the 2022 Colts offense. So I'm also going to pick the Cowboys to win it.
Yeah, I'd like to just kind of tag in on the accountability thing. Accountability and leadership isn't something that people talk about a lot, but what this accountability does is you would think when guys hold each other accountable, or people hold each other accountable, that there's an air of blame that comes with that, but that's the negative aspect of that. That's projecting negativity on it. What it really does is that when they hold each other accountable, they know they can be held accountable at any time. So guys are more likely at that point to not just hold each other accountable, but to lift each other up, to support each other, because they want the same treatment. They want their teammates to hold them up and support them and make them feel better and have more confidence and feel like they're playing better. And they do that to each other, and they raise the game that way. So it's like a mind trick to be able to get to increase the cohesion in the locker room and the support for each other. And it actually takes the negativity out of the equation. They stop finger pointing, they stop getting down on each other, stop blaming each other, and they raise that cohesion, that confidence in the locker room. And it appears that's what's happened. Again, which we talked about I don't know if it's sustainable. Nobody knows. I don't care who you're talking to. I don't care if you're talking to Pat McAfee, or you're talking to Jim Irsay, or you're talking to Bill Cowher. I don't know. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. None of us know, and we won't know until the end of the season how this is going to go. But right now, it looks really good.
Yeah, that when you take everything into account that you were just talking about, Jeff Saturday being here ever since he got in the building, like I get, and I know this is saying a lot, but I get Mike Vrabel vibes, right? A guy who was a former player and is a player's coach, like loves his players, takes care of his guys, and lets them get G days, takes some days off on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But the ultimate dog. Like Mike Vrabel holds his guys accountable, and he's not afraid to call them out in the meeting room.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell, the same kind of guy. Like, but you just, in my opinion, like I feel like Frank Reich probably wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? Like the way Frank Reich is as a person, he's not gonna hold him accountable to the same level and with the same emotion that Jeff Saturday will.
You know how I feel about Frank Reich. I mean, I think he's an amazing coach, but you have a valid point. It's more that that Tony Dungy, Jim Caldwell, everyone's a professional, hold yourself to a higher standard kind of thing. And sometimes that works in the right situation, and sometimes it doesn't. And obviously I don't know that I was going to say that wasn't working here. I don't know that was a problem. That sounds like I know way more about it than I do. But it certainly could have been part of the equation. But I agree with you. Saturday has changed the culture, and it appears to be working. And culture's everything in team sports. It really is.
Truly. And I would love to know what you think about this game, what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to win. You let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video.